Hi guys, and welcome to the Ace Tanker for the Panther 88, the Tier 8 German Premium Medium Tank. And, yeah, it's going to be a while before I get around to reviewing this tank, and if I were to sum it up in one word, I would say disappointing. Yeah, in fact, it was so disappointing that when it was originally released, it cost over €40, and it sold so badly, according to rumours from Inside Wargaming, that Wargaming reduced the price to about €25 and refunded anyone who spent full price on the tank. It didn't sell very well, and there's a reason for that. It's just not very good, and I really can't recommend it. It's got quite a few problems, but I'm going to head into Tank Compare just to begin. So we're going to use Tank Compare to compare the Panther 88 versus the Panther. Why not the Panther 2? Well, that's because the Panther 2 is a different tank. It's a different version. The Panther 88 is basically the Tier 7 Panther with the Tier 7 Tiger's gun, the L71. I'm losing my mind. Here we go. So we've got the Panther 88 versus the Panther. Top values on both tanks, and so it's technically the same tank with a different gun, except the Panther 88's a premium tank. Okay, so, and it's a tier higher. The Panther 88 sees tier 10s, whereas the tier 7 Panther doesn't. Okay. First major difference comes with the hit points. 1,300 hit points on the Panther versus 1,500 on the Panther 88. So yeah, it's better, but only by 200 hit points. And the Panther 2 also gets 1,500 hit points. So is this tank as good as the Panther 2? No, even though they get the same hit points. The hit point difference is not that big. The Panther, the tier 7 Panther, has more signal range, much more signal range. It has a faster top speed, 55 kilometers an hour versus 46 kilometers an hour. Pretty much all the other stats are the same till we come to armor. The hull armor on the tier 7 Panther gets 85 millimeters of frontal armor compared to 80 on the Panther 88. So for some unknown reason, the Panther 88 gets less hull armor. Not by much, but it's still less, even though it's a tier higher and sees tier 10s. When it comes to mobility, you can see that the Panther at tier 7 also gets a more powerful engine, gets a better horsepower to weight ratio, therefore it accelerates better. The Panther 88 gets a bonus or an advantage when it comes to traverse speed, 38 degrees per second versus 32, but is it worth it for that lack of engine power and horsepower to weight ratio? I don't think it's worth giving up for just a little bit more traverse speed. The terrain resistance on the Panther 88, however, is much better than it is on the Panther. So even though it gets less engine power and a less horsepower to weight ratio, I think the tank actually is a little bit closer in performance to the tier 7 Panther than these stats would have you believe. But it still doesn't excuse the fact that you only get 46 kilometers an hour top speed compared to 55. So even though it accelerates as well as the Panther, it still has a slower top speed, even with better terrain resistance. The view range is only 10 meters better. The turret traverse is only 2 degrees per second better. And the guns really aren't that much better. Yes, you get more alpha damage with the Panther 88. You get more penetration slightly with the Panther 88, but the DPM, yeah, I suppose there is quite a big difference, assuming you can hit and land all your shots. But once again, this is a tier 7 and it doesn't face tier 10s like the Panther 88 does. And yeah, the penetration is not that great. I mean, the Panther 88 only gets 5 millimeters more penetration, and it faces tier 10s than the tier 7 Panther. So really, it's not looking so good for the Panther 88. On top of that, the rate of fire, the reload time are better on the Panther. The accuracy on paper is identical between these two tanks, but I would disagree. The biggest problem I have with the Panther 88, believe it or not, is its accuracy. 0.32, as we say in Ireland, my arse. Yeah, there's no way the Panther 88 has 0.32 accuracy. The soft stats for the accuracy on the Panther 88 must be absolutely awful, because this tank does not feel it. I have actually driven, I recently finished driving the STA-1 with the second gun that had 0.38 accuracy, and the STA-1 felt more accurate than 0.32 does on the Panther 88. I just hate the accuracy. It's nowhere near as good as it claims to be. And on top of that, the aim time is a problem on the Panther 88 because you've got 2.5 second aim time compared to 2.3 on the Panther at tier 7. You also, for some unknown reason, get 1 degree less of gun depression and less ammunition. Yeah, you can see I'm not a big fan of the Panther 88 so far. So like I say, if I were to sum up this tank in one word, it would be disappointing. The gun performs nowhere near as well as it should perform, and then for some unknown reason, basically the tank is a tier 7 tank, except it's worse than the tier 7 Panther in most ways, and this tank does not get special matchmaking, so it's a tier 8 that will see tier 10s. So tier 7 tank that's actually worse than the in-game tier 7 tank in my opinion, with a gun, tier 7 heavy tank gun that's probably worse than the in-game tier 7 gun on the Tiger. The gun is so frustrating on the Panther 88, but anyway, let's go. So it's going to be a while before I review the tank, but as I say, if you're thinking about getting one, don't. I really don't think it's worth it. It's just got too many problems. I'm not a fan of it. Now I've aced it, I'm not going to be going back and playing it again. Now initially I was planning to head over into the village, but then I pretty much soon realized that the T-54 that was coming over here has no intention of following me over, so he's telling me to fall back. And I agree. There's no point in going over there. I thought he was going to come and support me, but obviously not. So it's a tier 9 game, only 2 tier 9s on either side though, so that's quite nice. And I'm platooned with Beyond D and his IS-3. Teams look fairly even. And I decide, yeah, if your team are going to lemming train, there's no point in trying to hold a flank by yourself. So we're going to go back north. Incidentally, I kind of forgot I got an ace tanker, the Panther 88. I was playing World of Tanks recently. I played the Panther. As I say, I'm trying to get an ace in the Panther at the moment because it's a tank I rebought. And then after I'd played the game, I said, because I had a poor crew, as I usually do, I said, oh, well, I'll give this crew a workout, the Panther crew a workout in the Panther 88. And I went to pick the Panther 88, and I couldn't find it, and then I discovered it was way down in my reserves. And I was going, what's the tank doing in the reserves? And then I realized I had an ace tanker on it. I must have stuck it in the reserves, but this game, I completely forgot about this game. So this is probably one of the older ace tankers I have that I completely forgot about getting, which just shows how forgettable this tank is. And I'm quite happy I don't have to play it again. So I'm avoiding the M103. I've moved up. Now, on a recent KV1 video I mentioned arty. If there's arty in the game, it's usually going to go for me. And that's what's going to happen in this game soon. So basically, beginning of this game, nothing much happening. T-59 has come down through, enemy T-59 has come down through the village, but our team of lemming trained, so I'm just kind of waiting for this M103 to fire, where I'm waiting to get shots on this 50-100, and I get rammed by this KV4. Not very thoughtful of him. You see the aim time is not very good on this tank. Just waiting for the 50-100 to fall back. And again, just as soon as I have a flaming shot, this KV4, I don't know, some players completely just rams me out of the way. M103 is back. Need to wait for the M103 to take a shot before engaging him. Maybe I can track him. But 7 degrees of gun depression, it's just not good enough. There are so few reasons to actually like this tank. So, still haven't done any damage, and 4 minutes of this game have gone by. And there we go, there we go. As I said, don't have a very good crew, no sixth sense, didn't know I was spotted. And arty, if arty can hit me, arty will. So, I've just lost a third of my hit points, or over a third of my hit points. And there goes my first aid kit. So in the meantime, we've lost the middle of the map, we've lost the village. I was kind of waiting for a second arty to fire at me there. And it's a nothing game. It's probably why I forgot I got an ace tanker in this game, because nothing happened. It was a very, very average game. But yes, we've done our first damage. We've gotten our first damage done. It only took 4 minutes. Kill shot. And I missed my kill shot. So, okay. What's next? I'm thinking about maybe pushing up on this M103. And then I suddenly realize, you know what, actually there's a Type 59 behind us. So there's an Object 704 protecting our rear, but where can I go? What can I do? I've got no armor. So, oh, and there we go. And even though that was a snapshot, because of that aim time, shot went absolutely nowhere near where I aimed it. Did manage to land it though, and we get flanked, so now there's a Panther behind. Now, sometimes the accuracy is good. You can see how little we had to shoot there. Now, here, unfortunately, or fortunately, it depends on how you want to look at it, I have no choice. I'm caught out in the open, can't advance around the rock. Basically, I just want to use this KV-3 as a meat shield. I don't think I have a choice here. So there's a WZ-120 here as well. And there we go. So we managed to do a little bit more damage, but I'm using this KV-3 as a meat shield. And I have no apologies. Sometimes when you're in a tank that has no armor, you've got no choice. So WZ-120, and there I am. I'm criticizing this gun for its accuracy, and we're able to snipe a shot like that. And this is rare. This is my ace tanker in the game, so this is rare behavior from the gun. Usually, it's very, very disappointing. So again, I'm using the KV-3 as a meat shield, and I do apologize. Who is that KV-3? It's Emilios, I don't know, but sorry dude, I had absolutely no choice here. There's a Leva, there's an IS-2, there's a T-29 around to my right. I know that RT is focused on me, Beyond D has fallen back. There are tanks behind, tanks in front. So we've just got to be very, very patient, and it's not the most exciting a gameplay, but you'll find the Panther 88 has a lot of games like this. People could say it's a sniper, or you could argue it's a sniper. I would say that even as a sniper, it's a little bit disappointing because you can't rely on the gun. And 203mm of penetration versus tier 10 is just not good enough. But Beyond takes out the IS-2, relieving some pressure in front. And again, that was probably a bad shot by me. Didn't mean to ram the KV-3 there. But trying just to preserve my health. I'm at 600 health. And this WZ-120 can easily, if he rolls high, take over 500 hit points with one shot. But our object decides to go for the WZ-120. Our KV-3 decides to go for him. Beyond is falling back. We're being flanked. And I decide, okay, I've got to go deal with this Panther and Type 59. But there's no sign of them. So there's a good chance they've actually gone around to deal... Yep, they've gone around to deal with the KV-3 and the 704. So this should give me side shots. So shot on the move, take out the Panther. Moving down. Beyond is going on the attack as well. We're actually losing, by the way. It's 9-12. Only 3 tanks left. And you can see WZ-120 takes 463. He could have rolled higher. But that leaves me on 158. We managed to save the KV-3. Beyond goes in for the 120. I know RT's pre-aim, so I've got to poke out, take a shot, fall back into cover. Well, I didn't fall back into cover. That was dangerous. But we take out the 120, then fall back into cover. So there's a T-29, a Leva, and 2 RT still in play. And at this point, I figure that, you know what, my best option would be to flank. Someone put a shot into our KV-3. So Beyond's on 3 kills, I'm on 2. Our KV-3 is on 1. 3 versus 4. And yeah, because of the minimap, I know the Leva and T-29 were last spotted up on the ridge, so I figure RT has been left undefended, and that's where I'm going with my 158 hit points. Now recently I put out a KV-1 ace tanker, and I said, look at the Irish. in that particular replay. I get a little bit lucky in this one too. Thought I might have had a shot at the turret on this lava, but no. He's behind too many rocks. Okay, got to pull the finger out, got to go kill this RT. Now the only thing that's worrying me is we know where the lava is. T-29 hasn't been spotted in some time, and I know that the T-29's a one-hit kill. He's on 109 health, but I'm on a one-hit kill as well, 158 health, so KB3 is telling me to go find RT. Well, that's what I decided about 2 minutes ago. Beyond takes out the lava. Unfortunately, it costs him a lot of health. He's on very low health. And I got very lucky. Not once, but twice. Look at the Irish! Part 2 coming up, guys. So, spot an RT. That's fine. Focus on the RT. The T-29 appears to my right, and he's aimed here, and he tracks for 0 damage. And then RT comes around, I'm dead. I'm dead. No! He missed point blank range, so he got one shot in. So it's just, where is the GW Tiger P? Oh, we take out the Panther for kill number 4. That takes me up to 2.5k damage. But yeah, T-29 hits my tracks for 0 damage, and then the Panther misses at point blank range. As you can see in chat, he's annoyed. For fuck's sake, max lock and miss. You should try driving a Panther 88, dude. If you want to experience that all the time. So, I'm still, I don't really want to die in this game. Beyond is moving in. I just need to proxy spot this RT. He's a 2-shot kill for me. And he's probably going to be pre-aimed. And I don't have the gun depression, so there we go. Risk 1 shot, fall back. And yeah, he's definitely aimed at me. So I'm just waiting for Beyond. No point in risking my tank. And Beyond gets him with a blind kill. So there we go. Beyond with 5 kills, me with 4 kills. And I got very lucky at the end of that game. So an ace tanker in a tank I dislike quite a bit. It's probably one of the reasons why I forgot I'd even gotten an ace tanker in it, till I actually went to play it and realized I didn't need to anymore. So I went looking for the replay and found it. But my first ace tanker in the Panther 88, we picked up a Brothers in Arms. Beyond carried that game in my opinion. He did 4k damage, I did 2.6, 5 kills, 4 kills, Brothers in Arms for us both. He finished on 1395, I finished on 1264. Yeah, so it was a good result. KV3, again, I apologize for using his meat shield, I had no choice, but he had a good game too. Actually, quite a few of our tanks had decent games, quite a lot of damage done on our team. We finished up with firing 15, we hit 13, and we penned 13. Now, this is not normal Panther 88 gun behavior. I really dislike the gun on the Panther 88. The ammo costs are cheap, the repair costs are cheap, and you will make money, you will train crew members, so if that's all you're interested in, the Panther 88 is just fine, but it's not a very strong tank. In most ways, it's worse than the Tier 7 Panther, and as I say, the gun, I just find it very unreliable. But however, we spotted 2, damaged 8, destroyed 4, did 1,000 assistance damage, and earned 81,000 credits. So like I say, it's a moneymaker. 1896, so with a premium account. First game of the day, won at ×3. Left me on just short of 6,000 XP. But yeah, it's going to be a while before we get around to reviewing the Panther 88, and I'm probably not going to be very complimentary about it. I'm actually not looking forward to sitting down and playing games for a review in this tank, because I know it's going to be frustrating. However, that's the first ace, so thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.